What's up, guys? I'm back for like the first time actually uploading in real life, besides playing video games. So maybe I might get views or not, but we'll see. Today I'm going to do something that I've been wanting to do for about a couple weeks now, and I'm very excited to do my NFL predictions video. This is just for I'll be going over uh, all the standings from top to bottom for every division, and then I'll be doing obviously my Super Bowl predictions, my Super Bowl winner, and then I'll be giving you my award predictions for Rookie of the Year, like offensive and defense, and then obviously the MVP. All right, we'll just get right into it. I'll start off in the AFC and the AFC East. AFC East is probably the toughest division in football right now. You have four like legit playoff contenders, and you can argue that a couple of them are now Super Bowl contenders. But we'll start from the bottom. Finishing last, I have the New England Patriots. Now, I'm not saying the Patriots I think are gonna suck. It's that I think that's just where they rank among the AFC East. They're probably around the seventh or eighth best team in the AFC in general, but it's just I'm not doubting Bill Belichick. He might win another Super Bowl for all I can imagine, for all we care. But yeah, I have the Patriots in fourth because of their atrocious offense last year. Now, coming in third, I have the New York Jets. Now, big story for the Jets is getting Aaron Rodgers, and I think I'm buying into the hype, really. I mean, if that defense still plays to the same or even improves, man, that Jets team is going to be insane this year, and they might even win the division if the cards fall right. But coming in at number two, I have the Miami Dolphins, which means I have the Buffalo Bills in first, obviously. The Dolphins, I have a feeling that this is more of a tribute to Tua's injury, like history. If Tua plays every game this year and doesn't miss a single snap due to injury, the Dolphins are coming in. I have a very strong feeling that the Dolphins will come in first place, and you can mark that down. The Bills, I don't think I have to explain. It's the Bills. Let's go on to the AFC North. AFC North. This is another division that's very tough to rank, but coming in in 4 or 5, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, I know that might ruffle some feathers, but Kenny Pickett, I think he has a lot of potential, but I don't know. It's just that defense is very shaky, and especially if TJ Watt gets injured again, they lose their soul when he's not on the field. So, yeah, I think that, especially with their offense still being shaky. I mean, Najee Harris took a big step back last year, so I have them in fourth. In third, I have the Cleveland Browns. I would have them higher if I was more confident about Deshaun Watson, but I don't. It's just he looked horrible last year, and if they can get the version of him from Houston, I think they get into the playoffs, really. I think they have a strong chance at playoffs. Even if Deshaun Watson isn't fully himself, they still have Nick Chubb, best running back in the game. They still have a very solid defense. Coming in at number two, AFC North, I have the Baltimore Ravens. And the Bengals, who are obviously in first. I think you can flip a coin between these two, but I don't doubt Joe Burrow. And really, the difference is in the defenses. Cincinnati's defense it's not great. It's pretty good, I would say. Pretty good. The Ravens defense is going to be bad. Like, it's not very often that the Ravens have bad defenses, but I think they're going to be bad. I still think Lamar Jackson will be absolutely electric, especially after signing that deal. AFC South time. Coming in at 4 or 5, the Indianapolis Colts. Biggest problem, once again, same as last year's quarterback position, Anthony Richardson. I did not expect him to be good at all this year. And I really don't. I think it's going to take a while for him to reach his full potential if he does. You know, he is the ultimate boom or bust prospect, but I don't think he's going to be good right off the bat. And if the Colts expect him to be good on day one, they're in for quite disappointment. Coming in at number 3, I have the Houston Texans. Texans got a lot better. You know, after they choked away getting Bryce Young, they've gotten a lot better. They drafted Will Anderson Jr. and C.J. Stroud. They added a lot of free agents. It all depends on C.J. Stroud's play. I think C.J. Stroud. I'm not as confident as him as Bryce Young, but I'm a little bit more confident in him than Anthony Richardson. But I do have the Texans at 3rd. Coming in at number 2, Tennessee Titans. This is like the same situation as the Bills and Dolphins one. If Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry, and DeAndre Hopkins play a combined 60 games, then, or not 60, 45 I would say, that'd be more like it, because I don't think they can. If they play a combined 45 games, the Titans could come in first. You know, they were wrecked by injury last year. I mean, especially the quarterback position. You know, and I think Tannehill, he's not a guy that's going to use Super Bowl, but he can get you to the playoffs as we've seen before. Coming in at number 1, the Jacksonville Jags. I think as long as they keep taking steps forward, they're going to be a good team, especially with Trevor Lawrence at the helm. We'll move right on to the AFC South. Actually, did the AFC South. AFC West time now. AFC West, another really tough division. AFC East is stacked with good teams. Coming in at 4, I have the Las Vegas Raiders. I almost said Oakland. I will tell you, downgrading your quarterback does not mean you're going to improve most of the time. Going from Derek Carr to Jimmy G is not very good. They also got rid of Darren Waller. Their defense is still a mess. So Raiders are easy choice for 4th place for me. Coming in at number 3, I have the Los Angeles Chargers. This might be a little surprise, but I don't know. I do not trust the Chargers defense. You know, especially after giving up a 27-0 lead last year in the playoffs. I just don't trust them. I trust in that offense, though. That offense is going to be good, as usually. Justin Herbert leading the way. Austin Eckler still there. Yeah, coming at number 2, I have the Denver Broncos. I think it all depends on Russell Wilson. And this is me thinking that Sean Payton is going to fix Russell Wilson. I really do. I mean, look what he did with Jameis Winston in 2021. I think the Broncos will be able to do what they thought they could do last year, and maybe even squeak a little playoff spot in there. All right, coming in at number 1, obviously the Chiefs. If you disagree, you're stupid, and we're moving on to the NFC and the NFC East. This is probably, you could argue, this is the toughest division of football. NFC East. 4th, I have the Commanders. Once again, this is like the Patriots. I don't think the Commanders suck. I really don't. I think Sam Howell, if he gels in that offense, it's going to be... The Commanders will be in the playoffs, especially with the weak NFC conference. Coming in at number 3, I have the New York Giants. The Giants, I don't know. I'm mixed between they're going to take a step back or they're going to progress. I feel like they have the potential to progress, but it's just, I don't know. I don't know if I can trust Daniel Jones for another season. I know Brian Dable did great work with him last year, but I just don't know. Coming in at number 2, I have the Dallas Cowboys. They just need Dak Prescott to not do what he did last year and definitely go down with the interceptions. Like, there's nowhere to go but up when we're talking about improving, and Dak needs to go up quite a bit. Number 1, I have the pretty obvious, the Eagles. They're still pretty much the same team. Yes, they lost a couple pieces, but they drafted They drafted another Georgia defensive tackle, Jalen Carter. in the draft. They're just assembling the Georgia Bulldogs in the NFL. So, and I think the Eagles, if they get things right, they can go back to the Super Bowl. Um, Moving on to the NFC North. This might be a little bit of a surprise, but coming in at fourth, I have the Green Bay Packers. Yeah. The Green Bay Packers, obviously, they've lost quite a bit over the last 2 years since they've been to the NFC Championship game. I just don't see it. I'm thinking Jordan Love could be either Geno Smith last year, or he could be Matt Ryan last year. I mean, it all depends. It just all depends on his play. Coming in at number 3, the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears, they added a lot. They got an elite receiver, in my opinion, DJ Moore. They added a bunch of key pieces to their defense, and they got protection for Justin Fields. I think the Bears could be a sleeper pick in the NFC if you really think about it. They really could make the playoffs in their first year, in their third year under Justin Fields. Number 2, I have the Minnesota Vikings. They won the NFC North last year, but there's one thing I've learned about Kirk Cousins is that he rarely does anything in back-to-back years in terms of making the playoffs, especially. Yeah. But I still think the Vikings team will be very good. I mean, they lost Eric Kendricks and Zadarius Smith, but I think they'll still be solid. They might squeak into that wild card berth. Number 1, the Detroit Lions. I really like the Lions this year. And there's something else I'll talk about them later that might surprise you. The Lions, I mean, their offense is very good. Their defense was solid last year, I believe. I really think that the Lions have the best chance out of everyone to win the NFC North. I mean, they are really loaded with talent. And coming in at Alright. NFC South time. It's probably the weakest division in football. Coming in at number 4, I have the Tampa Bay Bucks. I mean, they were pretty bad last year. I know they made the playoffs, but they were pretty bad last year with Tom Brady. I don't know if you don't think they were bad, watch the playoff game last year. It was bad. And now they don't have Tom Brady. Yeah, that'll be ugly. Coming in at number 3, I have the Saints. The Saints are interesting because they have Derek Carr. He's definitely an upgrade over what they were putting out there last year with Andy Dalton out there. The Saints, if they get Michael Thomas back, they will be a force to reckon with, and they could really make a noise in the NFC South, especially with that weak division. NFC South now, number 2, I have the Atlanta Falcons. The Atlanta Falcons, I mean, they're just, it really depends on the step that Desmond Ridder takes. If Ridder becomes the franchise quarterback, then the Falcons could win the division. That's really the same case for the Saints, the Falcons, and the number 1 team, the Carolina Panthers. I'm not saying this out of bias. I really think that the Panthers can win the division. I really think they will. They got 7 wins last year with playing 4 different quarterbacks, and now they have Bryce Young. Yeah, I think they can win the division. I don't think they can. They don't even have to be a good football team to win the division. They can win 8 games. Might be enough to win this division. All right, NFC West now. Coming in at number 4, I have the Arizona Cardinals. You know, they were very bad last year, and they're going to have Kyler Murray out for a long time. And they'll probably be in the running for the first overall pick. And depending on the Texans do, they might have 2 top 5 picks, which will be very good for their future, depending on how they want to use them. Coming in at number 3, I have the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams, kind of like the Cardinals, are expecting to be basically suck the entire year and be in the running for the first overall pick. Because I know they have Stafford, they have Kupp, they have Donald, but the defense is terrible. It is just so bad. Especially if losing Jalen Ramsey, it was just, ugh. Number 2, I have the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks, they were a nice surprise last year, and they added Bobby Wagner back. They added more to the secondary, drafting Devin Witherspoon. I think they could be better this year. They could definitely improve their win total, which was 9 last year, to like 10 or 11 or something. They could steal the division, maybe from my number 1 team, the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners, they were pretty much they were unlucky with their situation last year with the quarterback. I think if they have even a healthy, above-average quarterback maybe last year, if they have Brock Purdy the entire NFC Championship game, they may be talking about a Lombardi Trophy right now, but who knows? All right. Now it's that way. My Super Bowl predictions. Well, we'll talk about the awards first, and these might shock some people. Offensive Rookie of the Year, not that much. I have Bryce Young. I think he is the best quarterback in the draft past year by far. I mean, he is probably the safest pick out of all of them. I just think he's going to have a very good year in that Panthers offense. I mean, look at the staff they've enabled. They have really made it easy for him to work with. The Defensive Rookie of the Year, I have Christian Gonzalez of the New England Patriots. Cornerback. I mean, when he was in college, he was locking down receivers, and I think watching his tape, he has the exact same skill set to do the same thing in the NFL. Now, the Offensive Player of the Year. This is kind of a shot in the dark, but it may shock some people. But for the Offensive Player of the Year, I have Jalen Hurts. Now, I don't have Jalen Hurts winning the MVP, but I think with how Jalen Hurts played this year, I think he's going to take it to another level this year. I mean, he is really you could say he's a top 5 quarterback. I think he's a top 5 quarterback. Yeah. Defensive Player of the Year, it'll be a little boring. I'm just going to go with, who do I think is going to win Defensive Player of the Year? I think it's going to be Myles Garrett, really. Myles Garrett, I mean, all they've been lacking the past year, the Browns have, is an edge rusher besides Myles Garrett on the other side to take away from the tension from him. And now they have that. They took in Zadarius Smith. I think he's going to be a very good player, and it'll give Myles Garrett an opportunity to win his first Defensive Player of the Year. MVP. This is more obvious, I think. Definitely an MVP candidate last few years. I have Joe Burrow. Burrow is, I think he's the second best quarterback in the league besides Mahomes. And I think the reason why Burrow is going to win MVP is my Super Bowl prediction right here. I pretty much gave it away. The AFC winner, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. I think it's really you can make a choice between the Bills or the Chiefs or even the Bengals, and I have the Bengals winning it. And it's crazy that between those 3 teams, one of them can't make the AFC Championship game each year. It's really a fun conference, and especially with the teams surrounding them, it's good. But I have the Cincinnati Bengals, and in the NFC, this may shock you, but I might get roasted for this if you're watching this, but I have the Detroit Lions. Yeah. This will be the first time the Lions win the Super Bowl. I love their offense. Jared Goff, he's not a bad quarterback, and he's taken a team to the Super Bowl before. You have Amon-Ra St. Brown, you have Jameson Williams when he comes back from his gambling suspension, and the defense isn't bad either. Dan Campbell, I like him as a head coach. The offensive line is very good in Detroit. So that is my NFC winner. So my Super Bowl prediction, Lions versus Bengals. Not really a Super Bowl you probably saw coming, but Super Bowl winner, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. I really can't see Joe Burrow being denied a second straight time of a Lombardi Trophy. But what's sad is that probably after this, Patrick Mahomes is probably gonna win another Super Bowl and embarrass me.